Hey, thank you for visiting my channel. So today we're going to talk about cover letters, what a cover letter is, why it's important, and I'm going to give you some examples, okay? So first of all, your cover letter, it introduces you to an employer. It introduces the employer to who you are, your experience, your education, and it also introduces your employer to your resume. Now, if that potential employer reads your cover letter and if they're interested, then they will then in turn read your resume. Now, some employers, they may just want your resume. Some may not even mention a cover letter, but you still want to have one just in case, because often when you're applying for jobs online, they ask for a cover letter anyway. So you definitely want to have one completed. And so, you know, when my students have to complete a cover letter, I notice they get overwhelmed or they freeze up because they think that it has to be this big elaborate letter, which it doesn't have to be, because you don't have any experience in the medical field anyway if you're just starting out. So you won't have a lot of things that you have to write about anyway. But you do want to highlight your experience that you have already, whether it's medical or not, because it could be a transferable skill. For an example, if you've worked in customer service at a store or restaurant, then you want to highlight that so that way they know that you work with people, right? And also maybe you've worked with kids. This is especially good if you want to work in pediatrics when you finish school, because then they'll know, okay, well, she or he has experience with kids. So you definitely want to talk about your experience. You just won't have to necessarily elaborate. So it doesn't have to be this big old drawn out letter. I often tell my students to just start talking, start writing as if you're talking. So, because a lot of times when we're writing, we want to focus on, you know, how it sounds. We want to sound good. But if you literally just kind of just take a minute and then just write what you would tell me. If I was to ask you to introduce yourself to me, like, what would you say? So start maybe writing that way. And I always suggest to look at examples online. Don't copy. You don't want to commit plagiarism, but you can look online for sample medical assistant cover letters, so that way you'll get an example. And I'll show you guys a couple examples here anyway in a moment. The first thing you want to do is you want to greet the potential employer. So you never want to put "to whom it may concern." That is a big mistake that a lot of people make, write "to whom it may concern" on a cover letter. You want to actually write "Dear hiring manager" if you don't know the person's name. Now, if you know who you are going to be interviewing with, if it's Dr. Jackson or Dr. Brown or Mrs. Smith or whoever, you want to definitely greet that person by name. But if not, and this is just a general letter, you want to just go ahead and put "Dear hiring manager" or "Dear office manager." And so once you greet the person, you introduce yourself. "Dear hiring manager, my name is such and such, and I am happy to hear of an open medical assistant position in your office or in your company. I saw the posting on Indeed.com, or I saw the posting on your website." You just want to let them know the position you're applying for and where you saw it. "I am a recent graduate of," we're going to use Medical Assistant College for video purposes, right? We don't want to name any names, right? "I'm a recent graduate of Medical Assistant College, where I obtained my medical assistant certificate. I also became certified in phlebotomy, or I also obtained my registered medical assistant certificate or my certified medical assistant certificate." So you want to highlight what you obtained there. "I obtained my CPR and first aid certification." Whatever you obtained in school, you wanna, this is gonna be your chance to really sell yourself, because again, you don't have a lot of experience. So you're really going to be reliant on everything that you accomplished in school, right? So if you were on honor roll and maintain perfect attendance while at Medical Assistant College, I maintain a 3.8 GPA or 3.5 GPA, and also I maintain perfect attendance. My instructors often said that I was, you know, you want to talk about what your instructors said about you. My teachers often said that I was very dependable, very hardworking. They often asked for my assistance with the class. You really want to highlight all of your accomplishments in school. And you also want to talk about the skills that you obtain. The clinical skills that I obtained while in Medical Assistant College included performing EKGs, taking vital signs, including blood pressure, pulse, respiration. You want to talk about how you learn how to give injections. I also learned administrative skills, which includes scheduling appointments, introduction to billing and code, and things like that. Whatever you learn, you want to highlight. So that'll be really in your first paragraph. Now your second paragraph, you'll go into your experience. So and you may even mention that you don't have medical assistant experience. You may even say, "While I don't have medical assistant experience," or "while I am brand new to the medical field, I do have 3 years of experience in customer service working at such and such store or working at such and such restaurant. While I was there, I was in charge of managing such and such people, I was in charge of customer service, answering questions. So that way they'll see that you have some type of experience working with people. Your last paragraph, because you really only need maybe 2 to 3 paragraphs. Really 2 is enough, especially if you don't have a lot of experience. Your last paragraph, you're basically just saying, you know, I feel like I would be a great asset to your company, or I will be an asset to your company because I am, you know, if you are bilingual, if you have anything that sets you apart. I always tell my students, because I get a lot of bilingual students, I always tell them, you want to make sure you highlight that in your cover letter and even add that on your resume as well, but we'll talk about that later. But you want to highlight that because that's going to set you apart. So as I mentioned before, I have 16 years of medical assistant experience. However, if I was going out for a job and maybe another person, you know, she or he has less experience than me, however, they're looking for someone who is bilingual, they're going to choose that person over me. So you want to, whatever makes you stand out, whether it's, you know, another spoken language or whether you know sign language, you want to definitely highlight those things that stand you apart. If you have military experience, whatever stands you out, you want to highlight those things in your cover letter. So once you add why you feel like you would be an asset or the best person for the job, then you may say something like, I have attached my resume for your review. I hope to hear from you soon to discuss a possible interview. I can be reached by phone at, or I can be reached by email at, and you will leave your phone and your email. Thank you for your time, or thank you for taking the time to review my cover letter, or thank you for your consideration, respectfully or sincerely, then your name. So now let's look at some examples. Dear hiring manager, I am happy to hear the open medical assistant position in your office. I am actively seeking employment in an environment like yours. While at blank college, I acquired both clinical and administrative skills, including taking vital signs, performing EKGs, and managing a front office. I also learned how to administer injections and perform phlebotomy, in which I am proficient. My instructors and counselors have described me as very dependable and hardworking. I maintain a cumulative GPA of 3.5. In my several years of experience in customer service, I have always demonstrated exceptional organizational skills as well as excellent customer service. I believe I will be an asset to your company, while your company will be instrumental to my professional growth. I would greatly appreciate the opportunity to speak with you about this position. And then they go on to say where they can be reached by phone or email. And she also talked about her customer service experience, which can be translated to the medical field because it is considered a transferable skill. Now I'm going to read you one more letter. Dear hiring manager, I'm writing in response to your open position for a full-time medical assistant. I am a recent graduate of blank college, where I was trained in clinical skills, including phlebotomy, administering injections, performing EKGs, and measuring vital signs. I was also certified in phlebotomy, CPR, and first aid. While at blank college, I maintained 100% attendance and graduated cum laude with a cumulative GPA of 3.7. My teachers have described me as a hard worker and very reliable. I often acted as a lab assistant for my teachers, assisting my peers when needed. Some of my personal attributes include excellent customer service and teamwork, good time management, and organizational skills. I am bilingual, fluent in both English and Spanish, which I know will be an asset to your company. I hope my background matches what you are looking for in a candidate. If you would like to contact me to discuss the position, I can be reached by phone at blank. Thank you for your consideration. I look forward to hearing from you soon. Sincerely. Now, that was a good example of pointing out that she was a recent graduate, that she was bilingual. She pointed out what her instructors said about her. So those are just some things that you want to consider when you are brand new to the medical field and you are working on your cover letter. If you're still in school, you're already learning how to do those things anyway. And so I hope that this video was helpful to you. I hope that this added some value. If it did, please make sure you like the video and share it with someone else who can benefit from it. If you have a video suggestion, a topic that you'd like me to discuss, definitely let me know down below in the comment section, and I will do my best to answer your question. Thank you again for visiting my channel. Be blessed.